Okay, so the recording is started. Welcome to the community meeting that we try to hold every week. Yeah, so basically we're just all representing ourselves and discussing some ideas about Fruit Haven, where it's whatever's on the agenda, I guess we'll find out.
Yes, and that was Boris, if we're going to introduce ourselves. I am Rob, owner at FH3, and today is Thursday, June 18.
Okay, I guess it's my turn. I'm Stefan. I work for EcoHubs, and we're applying our Arcos system here at Brookhaven in these meetings.
Yes, so what's on the agenda for today?
Yeah, good question. Well, maybe what I could do just quickly before even jumping in, there's a lot of updates I did to the arcos.fruithaven.lend. I linked it also in the vision. So if you go to fruithaven.land/vision, then it is linked there somewhere. Basically, yeah, just created what I could understand based on the 3 documents that we have that passed the consensus in 2019. So it actually documents that in the Arcos that they passed consensus, 2019 specific, whatever date there. And then there's also a rejected, which I linked in the community chat. You can see, so the rejected sovereignty doctrine version 3 in 2023. So since then, I don't have any evidence that anything passed any consensus or got rejected. So those are basically the kind of foundation, let's say, that from there we can see, do we do some changes? Do we add any proposals? Well, we had that one proposal actually, so maybe it would be good to put that in there. That would be my next step. Also, I added the little AI chat there, so if there's questions on the bottom right, I think it should show up. So if you have a chance, yeah, bottom right, you click that, and there's ask about Fruit Haven, and you can ask some questions and it'll give you some AI stuff. Otherwise, on the top right, there's, if you're on mobile anyway, you can see, or on the left panel, basically, you could see all the different layers. There might be some other things that I need to update, but I tried to kind of remove anything that is not related to Fruit Haven because I basically forked from GitHub. Yeah, that's basically my update. Any other? Yeah, maybe someone else can continue from here.
No, yeah, that sounds great, and this is also a lot to kind of look through and comb through it so that it's actually 100% what we have from before, so that we are not like a sneak introducing anything or changing anything like unintentionally or so. This with the Arcos, I guess is this federation that Fruit Haven are like put together by several smaller Fruit Haven projects, like a 1, 2, 3, and so on. And this federation document in the Arcos that's what it's called, right? Where we talk about Fruit Haven as a whole and how all the smaller projects are actually independent and they make their own decisions, and you know, if they want to separate from the Fruit Haven thing, for example, they can do that, yeah, if they vote for it unanimously and so on. But that is something that we did not really look through and kind of discuss through everything with the how it's formulated and everything. Am I correct, or did I simply miss that when I was gone?
Yeah, I think that's what it's called. And yeah, I don't know if we looked through it in depth details, but it was based on the community sovereignty doctrine.
Yes, yes, exactly. So should we continue the work, like looking through that? If someone shares the screen and we kind of go through it and talk about it, or what do you guys think?
I would like to raise a question there. I've been talking to Boris also already about it, but I would like to open that question up to everyone. And that would be about the purpose of this website. What do you want to achieve with this? I think that's a very important thing to be very conscious about right away from the beginning, because at the moment you're going into a way where you use already AI generated definitions and you publish them based on the bylaws, no? And now you want to go through them and see if they're correct. I would propose a different way. You don't have to agree with it, but that's my recommendation for this. And that would be that you clean it completely up. You make it empty. You reset it to 0. Because what we've been doing in the past weeks was creating these definitions already based on the bylaws. So what I would propose is we use these definitions. We add them to a folder that already exists, I guess, which is called proposals. Then we vote on them. I mean, you vote on them. And only when they pass, we add everything in the website once it has passed. Okay. So it's basically the same, but much cleaner, with a cleaner history, because what the definitions as they're written right now on the website have not passed any voting yet. So that's a dangerous part, you know. Even if they're based on the bylaws, they haven't been voted on exactly in these words yet. So I would be careful with that. But I'm curious about
I'm not.
what you guys say.
I am not proposing that they are all like accepted, that people accept the work that we have done so far. That would have to be kind of accepted, you know, by everybody before it's actually kind of done. Although we haven't really changed much, we have just kind of defined everything that was defined from before, but we have made it more accessible and more easy to understand and to fit in this ARCOS kind of structure, so that we can use that to have a better overview and you know, organize everything much better. But in relation to the sovereignty document, I don't know what you mean, like that we have to, what we have to finish before we can look at this, the sovereignty document, basically. Yeah.
So back to my very first question. What is the purpose of that website? This you should answer. Do you want to display AI generated definitions there that represent what you've voted on in the past? Or do you want to display only things that are one-to-one, word by word, have been agreed on in the voting? This is the distinguish the two things that you need to do in one way, you know? That's what I mean.
You mean everything that is on the website arcos.fruitheaven.land right now?
Exactly. There are AI generated definitions at the moment that haven't been directly voted on word by word.
Yeah,
that is something that I would be cautious of.
Of course, but we haven't like we haven't like passed them and just take them for accepted yet. Like we still have to look through everything. If there is any like AI generated text and definitions, we have to look through it so that there are no like hallucinations or simple mistakes or, you know, misunderstandings, you know, compared to what we understand the bylaws to be. But and then after that, we can have it, show this to the community, and everybody can read through it and see what it is, and then we like vote. But it's not really, it's not supposed to change anything. So it's basically just kind of clarifying everything. So the vote would be, does this clarify what we have already, and make it more accessible and easier to understand and work with? That's what we will have to vote on.
Yeah, but I would
not
propose
sorry, not whether we
yeah.
like definitions, not whether we accept the bylaws and the structure and all this. That's because they are already there, and whether people like them or not is that's only relevant when you move forward after all this, and if you want to start changing them.
Yeah. So what you're saying, I agree. But I'm not sure if we're talking about the same things. So first of all, I think what's important is like, what do you exactly want to vote for at the end? So what I'm proposing would be that you vote for packages, like these proposals that we've been creating. Like they're small, digestible packages that you can vote on. But if you now go through the website and you check all of these definitions, if they are okay and if they comply with the bylaws, and then give that whole thing for voting, that's too much. I think no one will read that. No one will understand it because the package size is too big. So that's another thing I would be cautious of. So yeah, what I would propose is that you reset it, what you have now, discard all these AI generated things. And we've already went through the bylaws basically by applying, or a big chunk of it at least, by applying these, or by creating these definitions that we've been doing the past weeks. So I think it's a much cleaner start to apply these to the website once they've passed the voting, and vote on these chunks that we created. No?
Yeah, sorry if I misunderstand. I agree completely with this, like to take it in the smaller parts for like a voting, and otherwise people will like it's really difficult. Even if you're really into it, it's really difficult to get a good overview and understanding. But are you saying that all the work that we did so far on this arcos.fruithaven.land page now, that is not what we have there. Is that correct? Like there is something else now there, like a AI generated, because that should not be the case.
Yeah,
right?
That's what I'm assuming. I mean, Boris, please correct me, but I'm assuming, or everything I said was now based on the assumption that Boris, you went with AI through the bylaws and you created these definitions that are currently on that website. Is that correct? Or am I completely wrong there?
I think yeah, basically had AI copy the stuff from the spreadsheet, or was it a document, the Google Doc that we've been working on, and then also I had it kind of check if there's any other missing pieces, and I think there was a few things it added, but it's supposed to just copy what we already have that's existing. So yeah, we can go through maybe one by one and see, like, is it correct? It's not hallucinating.
Yes, I
Yeah.
would say that is critically important, like to the point where it should be basically copied by hand by us instead of by AI, because we still have to go through it like with a comb to check that there is nothing weird going on.
Absolutely, and the packages that we've created are already fitting relatively well into the Arcos structure. So it shouldn't be so hard to copy them manually. But then also, again, here, another point that I mentioned before is be careful with what you publish there, because that might seem like that has already been voted on, and that hasn't been voted on word by word. We didn't create something like new rules or so. Everything complies with the bylaws, but still these words haven't been voted on. This is what I would be careful with. So in my opinion, it's better to have them in a package, in one folder, each proposal, like in one file. Then you vote on those. And once they're voted on, you add them to the website, make in the structure that it provides. This would be the way I would propose. It's much cleaner and it's clear, you know?
Absolutely. I agree 100%. Otherwise, it's like we're working on two different places and one looks actually official while it's not yet, at least. So I agree with that 100%. And it would be okay to make this web page, this arcos.fruithaven.land, inaccessible, like a not public for now, because that could be a great source of confusion and you know, conflict or whatever, if people start reading that and think that it's like that's what is accepted and voted for by someone that, you know, they haven't even been informed of this voting.
Yeah, but because I agree also with what you're saying, but it's technically more difficult to make it partially accessible for some people than just resetting it to 0, and throw our proposals that we've already created into a separate folder, where it's clear that these are proposals, and this folder exists already. There should be 3 folders actually: proposals, declined proposals, and past proposals. And currently, all of these proposals that we created should be one file each in the proposals folder. And once we're ready, once the voting has passed, they move to the past folder, and in that moment, we can apply them to the website into the separate sections. Apply these definitions. That would be the workflow. And I think it's important to have this workflow and to keep it going in the future as well. It's not like a one-time thing. There should be like step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and you should always follow that flow very clearly, in my opinion.
Yes, I agree with this completely.
Yes, I agree. So, well, to some extent. So first, let's go over, I just sent a link. We already do have the proposals and their past proposals, and then the rejected. Okay, Nick just messaged that it's, I sent the link anyway to the past proposals, but so those are the ones that passed in 2019, and that's already clear. This is what's passed, so we can go from that point. Now, yeah, we might have some additional proposals, but we know how it was not easy to pass things before, but I mean, there wasn't anything, it seems, that was rejected in terms of our proposal. So we already sent this email, I don't know how many, couple of weeks ago, I guess, right? And it was basically like just making a transitional membership. What was it? Yeah, whatever it's called, the transition for the owners to become members. And what else would we propose? Like, we're trying to basically maintain the same thing, just keep it the same, right?
Yeah, it is the same, but we are reworking it, like changing the text and making it clearer, we can say, or you know, in all sorts of ways. But so it should still be like a vote that people accept this work that we have been doing. That's important.
Hey guys,
Yes.
how's everyone doing? I'd like to introduce Devin. He just joined the community meeting. He's interested in being part of Fruit Haven, so here he is. If he wants, I'll let him introduce himself, or you can just listen in.
Hey everyone, this is Devin. Here with my girlfriend Shreya, and yeah, we're very interested in Fruit Haven and meeting the community and getting to know everyone.
Welcome. Nice to have you guys here.
Maybe since we just joined in, can you guys give a quick breakdown of the agenda for today? Like I heard, as I mentioned, we're trying to figure out what we're going forward with. So from what I'm understanding is we're discussing whether we should go point by point with the sovereignty doctrine. Is that correct?
No, that was my idea, but then Stefan was talking about how, yeah, before doing anything else, maybe we should kind of reset this arcos.fruithaven.land website so that people don't think that that's some kind of official, because that was kind of AI generator, is not the exact text perhaps, even though Boris told AI to copy what we have done in our document so far. We haven't actually checked it, so that's not really the way to go, maybe. But we can clear all that and then start adding in the things that we have kind of worked on already, as they are voted on and accepted by the community.
Oh, so to go over the AI replica of the sovereignty doctrine, is that correct?
No, I was talking about the sovereignty doctrine with this federation document within the Arcos, that we should go over it and see that it's actually like a correct and good the way it was made by AI. But that's one thing. But Stefan was mentioning, like before we start moving forward with anything like that, we should clear the Arcos website that we have, because that is not the exact material that we have been working on, or we don't know if it is, because it was like AI copy of the documents that we have kind of generated so far.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you for summarizing. So in my words, again, also, so you have basically one way in the past, from the past, in which you used to say this is official, and that was documents. And you agreed on that these 2 or 3 documents were official. Now we introduced another way, which is a website, showing, hey, this is official. This is what we agreed on. And currently that website shows something that is AI generated. And it has, it's not optimal. I think I see a lot of things that are not clear, that we did not write. And this has clearly not been passed in a voting, these wordings. And I think that's very relevant and it's important. And the second thing is there should be some kind of a workflow, steps that we define, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, from idea to proposal to voting for a proposal, and then transferring it on that website, making it official, so to speak. So these are the steps that we should define. We can write them down as well to make it really clear. But that's the point where we stopped, I think.
Sorry, Stefan, could you clarify real quick the issue?
The issue. So yeah, currently we're showing AI generated text on the website as something official. That is the issue, I think.
Official, like you mean it was sent out, or is it because it's published?
Yeah, I mean, if you go to the website arcos.fruithaven.land, and then you open, for example, identity, that branch. I mean, first Arcos artifacts. Wait, I will share my screen. I think that makes it much easier. Here. Okay, you should see my screen now. So you open the website, then you open here Arcos artifacts, then you open any of these subcategories, identity in that case. You open, I think here, scope declaration, for example. And this is not, like, for example, here reserved. I think, yeah, none of these texts, none of these definitions here have been officially agreed on with voting. Maybe the essence of it, yes, that the essence of it comes from the sovereignty doctrine or the bylaws. But I think if you want to make it more official in the governance thinking way, this has never been agreed on. No? There could be some words that are hallucinated, yes. There could be also like some sort of wording that is just different and not everyone would agree on. So that's why I believe like all of this text here, this one, all of them from all the sections, they never have been agreed on in a meeting, in a voting, sorry. So they should be all resetted and replaced by a placeholder like to be defined, yeah, to clarify that this has not been ever defined and agreed on. Yeah, but currently it's there as if it was official. So if you read through it, you might think that this is the official way Fruithaven is currently governing itself, but it's not the truth. Yeah? And because you're working on something governance specific, you should have in my opinion at least, a workflow that guarantees that everything looks official and is official, and not publishing AI generated content just like that on a website. This is what I'm thinking. This is what the issue is.
Yes, and I would like to add, this is super important to kind of understand what Stefan is talking about here, and like heed the warning, so to say, because this, like if someone from the outside came and read this now, this is basically willy-nilly governance, and we don't even know what is put there because we didn't read through it and put it there even. So it's really dangerous in my view, and sets us up for failure and conflict and misunderstandings again, because like we can't just make decisions like this without voting, for example, or this is really, really important. So I too vote for just clearing this and then start filling it out with the actual text that we have worked on, and that has then been given the thumbs up through voting by the community.
I mean, it makes sense, but wouldn't since it's essentially a draft, can't we just put a disclaimer that it's a draft work in progress?
Yes, but then we will still have to kind of erase it and put in the things that we have actually worked on. I thought that was what Boris had done, but this is an AI generated version that is might not be exactly what we worked on and agreed on with all the wordings and everything.
Yeah, I think it's actually, it will lead to a lot of confusion. I also see that some of these definitions are still from EcoHubs. So I created for EcoHubs this website specs where I apply all the definitions for our EcoHubs community, for the online community. And some of these texts are still here on this website, like this. You don't have a treasury administration at the moment, for example. This comes from this website. So it will be very confusing down the line. Even if you mark this as draft, you will be confused at some point. So I would remove all of this because you haven't agreed on any of this yet. And you want to be sure that down the line you will not be confused.
Very good, very important. I vote for just kind of resetting this to 0 and then start filling it out manually, even if it is then just saying that draft or whatever. But because this will only cause a lot of confusion and frustrations, and you know, it's not a good way to work at all. I have to log off now. I hope you guys have a nice day, and I hope to be joining you on Sunday again if we're back on time from our bicycle camping trip.
Cool. Thank you, Rob. Nice to hear from you, and see you soon.
See you soon. Take care,
Thanks, Rob.
everybody.
Bye. You too.
Thanks.
Have a good trip.
Thank you.
So guys, basically you were, up until now, you were just like trying to figure out where we go on next. May I propose that we maybe give a breakdown for the benefit of Devin and Shreya of what we're doing here and what for, because kind of we had this as an objective in the past, right? To kind of introduce our progress here to other people that aren't necessarily in the meetings all the time. And David and Shreya would be, I think, interested, and you'll kind of give them a sense of orientation of what's happening.
Okay, I could give an introduction and overview over what we've done and why. So maybe best to show this diagram here again. So in 2019, there've been agreed on a few documents in the community, which are these documents. They're listed here: sovereignty doctrine, contract, and bylaws. And I, on my side, created a framework which is called ARCOS, which you've heard now a few times. And that framework aims to define, or it's a set of definitions that should help communities to see what they should define. Yeah. So you can see also more under blueprint.ecohubs.community. This is the website where this framework is hosted. So if you open any of these layers here, you can see all the definitions. For example, a community must define exactly one primary purpose. Now, this is one of these definitions, and you can go through. It's structured in 7 layers from 0 to 6, and it goes from identity over membership, governance, economic and resources, conflict and repair, operations and coordinations, to evolution. So evolution is how you evolve over time. How do you change all of this? And yeah, I compared what's already there with these definitions. And what turned out, I mean, I called it a compliance test. And in that test, it showed that around 7% were compliant. So these definitions were completely set and solid. Another half, I mean, one half of the rest was partially defined, and another half was missing. So then I tried to figure out what are the gaps. Where should we start defining to be more resilient? And we started with the membership states. We've defined them already. We also defined the role explicitness. So we defined some roles, and also a few other things. Here we have a document, this one, where we have all our proposals that we've already defined. So we have a purpose, and a secondary purpose. We have the membership states that I mentioned already. We have the, we found out that we needed this part because there are owners and members, and we needed to distinguish them in some way. So that's another proposal. Here are the roles. We're defining what participation means. That's another proposal. Conflict resolutions, like a resolution ladder. So what happens if conflict arises between people? First, there will be a direct conversation, for example, then a facilitated dialogue, and it goes until the separation process. Just to show an example here. And we're also working on this proposal, which is about the governance of the federation of Fruithaven lands, because Fruithaven lands are separated into Fruithaven 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they might have they might want to have separate governance. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's basically it. To get a link to this website, to this one, this could be a way to show, to display all the proposals that have passed. So basically a governance register, the laws of the community of the members that they agreed on and that define how they want to live. Yeah, so that's it. I think if you have any questions, yeah, please let me know. Happy to answer.
That looks really great. Yeah, we would definitely love a link to that document you were sharing so we can understand how the governance of the community goes.
Yeah, great. I can share it. You mean this document?
Yeah. Yeah, this document.
Okay. Yeah, I can share that. I can share it here in the link and the chat, maybe.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, Boris, or Nick, should we continue with something? Should we maybe define a workflow for these proposals? How we deal with it? How they land at the end on the website?
Yeah, if you're feeling motivated to go with this, I mean, I have no objections.
Boris, do you have anything to add or objections?
Yeah, looks good.
Okay, so I guess the first thing should always be creating a proposal together. So one of these statements.
Actually, one question. So I mentioned it earlier. So we made a proposal. We sent an email to all the owners, and we gave a deadline of 2 weeks. I don't remember exactly when that was. Maybe we can pick up at that point, because then we can see, okay, well, nobody rejected this proposal. So maybe we input that into another past proposal.
Just is it a proposal or is it like an update? What was the off the top of your head, like what do you remember being proposed?
Break up a little hard to hear you, Nick, but yeah, the proposal's right there in the screen, so maybe you can click that. So Nick. Stefan, if you see the proposal, I think we have that ready for the email.
You're also hard to understand. Which proposal to repeat?
So email the proposal, the page you're looking at right now on the left, there's email for proposals, and then you have all these proposals. Did we propose all of them? I think it was, yeah, so there's the email that we sent out. It was hard to hear, Nick. Maybe you can ask again. Did you say, what was the proposal? Is that what your question was?
Yeah, bro. Sorry, you too. It's cutting off. I'm wondering, is it the same for everyone? Hello,
Yeah,
do you
you're
guys hear
both
me?
cutting off a bit. Yes, we heard you. You're both cutting a bit off at the end.
Maybe Telegram is having issues.
Okay, it's a little bit better now. I can make out most of the stuff. Yeah, what was I saying is I thought the email was mostly like an update. Was there something specific being proposed in the email other than just like the update of what we're doing?
Yes, there was basically, if I understand, the main proposal section is the transitional membership right there. So if you look at the screen, Stefan highlighted it in blue. That's the main proposal, is transitional membership for like a bridge between the existing owners to becoming members, basically because we have only me as a member, so there's no really members at all. So we have basically to start somewhere and just let all the owners become members, but there is also a specific link to that there. So it was explained. I'm sure you remember there was certain questionnaires to fill out. So we basically are giving a year at that point. So nobody rejected it. I guess we can say that's good then.
I think it would be important to make very clear that this was a voting already, because it doesn't say here.
At the bottom, I think we had something where it says if you have something to say, where was it? Yeah, the timeline, and it's a bit small on my screen. Okay, there, I zoomed in. So we will assess consensus in line with the bylaws and current decision-making approach, proceed based on the outcome. So maybe this can be our discussion, because I think it's worth seeing that. When did I send this out? If anyone I can look it up quickly.
It's true. There was no objections. Do you think? What do you think if we send like an kind of reminder saying like, the time has passed, like, shall we move on with the proposal?
Yeah, actually, I'm seeing. Okay, so it was May 14. So we're over 1 month now at this point. We're June now, so yeah. So if we had basically one person say, yeah, that's good, or something, and then one person said, kind of raised a kind of different question about that we addressed. Maybe it's a different unrelated thing, I guess, or maybe it was kind of related.
The message you posted, that was from anonymous commentator. Would that even count?
Well, it doesn't seem that anyone rejected this proposal. That's the main thing. Like, nobody said, "Oh, I don't agree." Like, because the proposal just makes it easy for everybody that's an owner to become a member. So it doesn't even make sense for anyone to reject it. So we kind of like set ourselves up for success. So in that regard, we can probably say it's safe to say that it's passed. So yeah, maybe it's a good idea. We can do a follow-up email saying, okay, this is passed and the clock is started. And then also we have to kind of show like, okay, these are the requirements, whatever we discussed. So if you go to Stefan, to the actual proposal, so click on the transitional, where was it? Yeah, that one. So if we go, the only thing that's really missing is another quiz, but that would be easy to do. I can probably finish that today, I think. So yeah, what do you think about that?
I mean, you're right. We're within the rules. I think an update saying, okay, no, there was no objections, so we're going ahead with this.
Any thoughts on that, Stefan?
Yeah, I think it's okay. The only thing I mentioned already before is in that email. I mean, you can kind of read between the lines, but for me, it wouldn't have been 100% clear that there was actually that this is the voting already. This it just says the process, and we will assess consensus. But yeah, I think if you take it, if you read it like this, after 14 years, we will assess consensus. That probably means like in 14 days, if no one if no one objects, we will. This will count, but yeah, it's a bit difficult to read maybe in that case. For me, it was also not clear when we when we created this email that this is already the voting process. But yeah, if you take it very strictly speaking, you're right. And
one thing I did add to the actual email. This was the draft that I sent out. It was at the bottom. It says any replies to this email will be taken into account in the next meeting. So I can add that just so we have the reference in this document as well, but it doesn't say where you're looking. So it did say that, but if you think we can ask something specific, like, I don't know, if we open it up to like someone to reject it, I think someone will reject, even if it's in their favor to not, but I don't know.
I think the other problem is that we didn't allow for replies all. You know what I'm saying? We did like BCC. Sorry, we did a we did BCC to all the emails.
Yeah, that's correct.
So because we were kind of saying that we're just updating the people and we're talking about these proposals. So I mean, it's probably not an official thing that could be questioned because we didn't allow for reply all, and we didn't really intend to make it as a proposal. We're just talking about making an update and then going from there. So maybe
it's 100% proposal. If you look at the title of the email, if you look at throughout the email, it says we are proposing this. It says at the bottom, benefits of membership, some proposal benefits, things like that, then process and timeline. This proposal will follow a standard 14-day review period. So I think if someone doesn't read it all the way to the bottom, but you can even see at the title, Fruit Haven membership clarification and proposal. And the reason we decided it's BCC, it says, where was it? This email is not intended to serve as a discussion thread, as we are trying to avoid long chains of email responses and thread fatigue. If you'd like to contribute, share your perspective, or have your voice heard, you are warmly invited to join the discussion during our weekly meetings. And so it says Thursdays and Sundays, 12 p.m. Ecuador time. Join the public Fruit Haven Telegram group. Recordings are available here. So the YouTube playlist, meetings and summaries can be found here. The Google Drive folder. So everything is there. And then there's another bunch of links at the bottom of the other proposals, but maybe we can just focus at least on one. So it doesn't make sense for anyone to reject this proposal, because it's like we're going from having one member to potentially 40 or whatever number it might be. I mean, it's obvious, we know that it's not going to be that many, but even if we gain 2-3 more members that are, or maybe 4 or 5, whatever, that are going to follow the rules for the for the transition membership, right? So it doesn't make sense for anybody to reject it. But yeah, I think I'm okay with sending one more email. And also, just to respond earlier, you guys were talking about clearing all the articles. Well, Stefan was talking about it, and okay, that's fair, but we need to find another way that would be easy for people to kind of add stuff, because right now I'm just using like the AI to fill it in to GitHub. And GitHub, I don't know how user friendly it is. If we didn't use AI, I have to play around with that. Maybe that's technical stuff, but it's important if we want to have this website function for our governance. Right now, yeah, like I understand Stefan's point that the AI kind of filled it in, and we should just do it ourselves. That's also fair. But at least the proposal section, so I sent whatever was passed. Those are from 2019, and then we have this one from 2026. So I will add that eventually. Unless you guys don't agree with that.
Look, I do like this doing it this way, because it streamlines the process. It kind of it accomplishes the goal of having people join the community meetings in the cases that you know, there's like some sort of disagreement or further discussion is needed, and at the same time, yeah, exactly, and it prevents the email fatigue that we've been experiencing. But historically, we haven't been doing it like this. We've been doing it like a, you know, reply all. But I don't think that unless you looked into this already, but I don't think it was defined that we have to do it this way, and we can actually just send an announcement email and BCC everyone, and then ask them to come, like, you know, ask them to reply, or like come to the community meetings. I mean, I'm all for that, and if we can go ahead with this, I'd be happy. But you know, I just want to make sure that we're covered on that end, where we historically, where we've been doing the reply all email, and right now we changed that, you know.
Okay, fair point. I don't remember it seeing specifically that email discussions would be the way that things are passed, but I do think there was something about the email is a notification method. So this is what I think. But yeah, maybe we can look more closely in those documents and see if that makes sense.
Well, the email, it says the email is the official communication method. So, for example, if we were doing this only on Telegram, and like we kind of like asked, we made a proposal and asked for everyone's opinion, it wouldn't be enough, you know. But we did fulfill the email communication, and we did invite contributions, and we provided the link to where to do it. But a lot of people don't use Telegram, and I think that's the only way of doing it, other than sending a reply to the official Fruithaven email.
Okay, no, I think most people do use it. There might be a few exceptions, but then we also at the end said that any emails replied will be taken into consideration in the next meeting. So someone, let's say, wanted to reject it and doesn't use Telegram, they could reply and say that. Yeah, we use the consensus -1. So even if one person did, we could still go ahead, because yeah, the majority is saying it's fine. There is also something about if they reject it, they have to. It has to be something like it's too dangerous to proceed, or what was it? Stefan was like.
Yeah, that's a consent mechanism that you're not using. I mean, you're using a hybrid, no? But what you're referring to is good enough for now and safe enough to try.
Yeah, which is mentioned at the bottom of that email. That's like, is it good enough for now? Is it safe? I think it was anyway.
Our consensus hybrid is basically agree, stand aside, or no, and the no has to be explained in line with our vision.
Right. So with that in mind, it shouldn't really even leave any room for any rejection. And our proposal is just very simple. Like, we have helping the owners transition into members in basically very similar way it worked before, but removing the some things that like are difficult, like people have to be there in person and for 6 months and all that stuff.
Okay, great. Then we can all, I think, commit or agree. That's what I want to say. We can all agree on that there will be a new proposal. Then you will add to that website, right? That has passed, and we will remove all of these definitions that are currently defined. Yeah, probably also this one, even the
Okay.
primary purpose. I would remove everything, and by hand is
Okay.
probably the best. And these ones you can leave, of course. These are the ARCOS definitions. Here it says the community must define exactly one primary purpose. Primary purpose must be this and that. These are the ARCOS definitions, and this is like a rationale about why it's important. So these things you can leave, but this text below you should remove. This,
Okay.
all of this.
Is there a way
structure is okay.
on GitHub to do it like a web editor or something? Do you know? It's a bit technical question.
Yeah, you
Okay.
can absolutely do that. It's not super user friendly because that's like an edge case usually. The better way is to download the entire repository on your local computer, edit it, open it with a code editor, like Visual Studio Code, for example.
I have
And
it.
then it's
Okay.
more comfortable. It's more comfortable, and then you can commit in the editor. You can commit it, and then it should be there. Yeah, it should be updated. But you can also do it directly in GitHub. Like I'm opening this one here, for example. This is another project I'm working on. And here on the right top, there's edit this file.
If you want to be a part of the team, I can add you as well. Can you hear me still?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Is it? I guess it's possible that I could add you to the team or something. I forget how it works on GitHub.
Yeah, you can definitely do that.
Okay, I'll look into that.
But it would be good if you, yeah, we can do it together. Maybe I can show you how it works. And then
yeah,
you know.
I know how. Okay, good.
Awesome.
Sounds good. Nick, I guess, was there internet issues up there?
Yeah, sorry, my phone battery died.
Okay. All right. So yeah, that's basically good start. Maybe we can draft a a response or what is it, like a follow-up email to say, okay, congratulations, we have a proposal that passed or something like that.
Yeah, I think that would be good, and at the same time, we gauge whether this method has any objections or not.
Okay, good idea. Because I think, yeah, generally having at least these online meetings, even though we're kind of like a in-person community, but everyone's in different places, so it became an online community in a sense, just like Stefan, right? So we can have some sort of call to action of being in the meeting if you want to be heard, or at least in the messages or something like that. In fact, it's a requirement to staying a member, right? Like we're giving this transition, so if you want to stay a member, you need to join. It's not so difficult to join Telegram, or if people prefer a different method, but it seems that works. Well, that's good. I think for
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Oh, which part?
Yeah, the last part. Sorry.
Yeah. So basically, it's also a requirement to engage in the meetings, to staying a member. So we made this transitional membership that owners are going from being just an owner but also a member automatically. But there is a 1 year period to at least engage. I think how many we said there at least one time in a online meeting, and then some the other things, yeah, like the questionnaires, watching the videos.
Yeah.
So anyway, the point was that, yeah, like in that email follow-up, we can see it's like, well, is this a good method? Like, is Telegram good, or do people maybe want a different way? I think Telegram is good. It's not so difficult to getting on it. You just download, install whatever it's done, and then you join the group and join the call. Maybe there's some trickiness to joining the call, I guess. People had issues, but once you find the way to do it, it should be fine.
Yeah, I don't mind Telegram. I think it's fine. Well, also the other thing, it might be just like a general lack of interest at this point. So I mean, we just build it up slowly. We keep doing what we're doing, and we'll have people interested joining.
Yeah, so hopefully this is one way to kind of encourage engagement. That's like, well, do you want to keep your membership? And if people don't, then okay, well, we end up with less members, and we see something's not working. Maybe it's, yeah, we need to find another solution, make, I don't know, different changes or something. But anyway, I think it's good enough. We did 1 hour. We can continue either Sunday, might be possible Sunday, and then also next Thursday should be good.
Sounds good to me. Thank you, Boris. Thank you, Stefan.
Yeah, sounds great. Thank you too. I also just finished this proposal workflow. You could look over it, or we can look over it on Sunday if you like.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. Maybe post a little update on the group. Yeah, in the group.
Yeah, I can send it in the group. No problem.
Nice. Thank you so much. Very good engagement.
Yeah, you're welcome. Then see you Sunday.
All right.
Have a good day, guys.
Bye bye. You too.